kind of a miserable, you see that out there, miserable, wet day. But inside, the store is filled with lovely stuff. Look at all the treasures. Look at them all. My name is Jay. I own a vintage shop in a small town in southern Ontario, a place called Dunnville. Store's called Capsule. I have been open, this is my 20th year. I've collected records my whole life and sold them my whole life. And today was a pretty good day because, as most record collectors at this point know, it is getting harder to find decent records at decent prices. And I got lucky. I have quite a few connections with different guys who don't necessarily collect or deal in records. They do other things, house clearances and stuff like that. So they usually bring their stuff to me, and usually they just want to flip it like really quick. Case in point, today, one of those guys had called me up during the week and said he had, because he buys storage units, quite a few of them too, and he just said, I've got like 2 crates of plastic tubs of records from the last unit that he was in, and he just wanted to bring them by and see if I was interested. And there was some okay stuff in there. About 3/4 of it was the kind of stuff you find clogging the bins at your standard thrift stores now. So like, like James Last, some of the less popular country music, that kind of thing in there. But there was actually a few really decent records, which, I was pretty impressed with. The condition on the ones that I really wanted out of the whole bunch is excellent. Some of the other ones were a little, the covers are a bit rough, but the records are all pretty good. They just need a good cleaning, so I'll just run them through the spin clean and they'll be fine. So yeah, I think I won't keep you guys in suspense about how much I ended up paying, but it was, I think there's over 40 records, and he was just like $60. I'm like, okay, because at least one of those records will probably cover the whole stack. So when you can do stuff like that, it's kind of a no-brainer. Anyways, let's go see what those records that I got look like. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this with the store open. So if anybody walks in, I might have to stop the video and restart it. I should mention first that if you're into like vinyl content, I do have a playlist of all my previous vinyl finds. It's, quite a few videos up there, probably, I don't know, 40 or some odd at this point. I'll put a link to that in the description. And the other thing I've been doing is, because people over the years have asked me about my personal record collection, and it's, I don't even know how many's in there. It's not a huge collection, but there's a couple thousand pieces. And I love all kinds of music: soul, ska, hardcore, regular old punk rock, certain metal, psychedelic music, like, all the good stuff, jazz, it's all there. And so I have been documenting that. I have been doing, I started doing that. I'm doing it basically like alphabetically. And so far I'm up to the D's. And so if you want to check that out, feel free. I'll put that link down there too. And it's kind of fun. You know what? My son was like, why don't you do a challenge, Dad? He's 10 and understands YouTube. I'm over 50 and I don't. But apparently he's like, you should do a challenge, which I guess is like, get other people to show their record collections as well. And maybe I'll do something like that. You know what? If you've got a record collection, why not do it? It has been so much fun for me because once you get a collection that's too big, and too big might not be the right, but a large collection, you tend to forget some of the stuff you have. And it has been fun going through it and just finding like, oh man, I forgot I got this. And then you get it out and you play it, and it's been tons of fun. So I do recommend to anybody, and why not make a video about it? It's everybody likes to see each other's records collections. When I go to somebody's house, maybe I'm a bit of a weirdo, but one of the things I love is like looking at their music, like whether it be their CD collection or their record collection or whatever, because you can learn a lot about a person, I think, from the different types of music they're into. So yeah, this collection here, I believe there are 30 records dead on, and it came from a guy who does storage units, and then when he gets records, he usually comes and talks to me. So he came by, and as I said, about three-quarters of the stuff he brought, I had no interest in, and he'll probably end up, I don't know, donating or doing something with it. Um, but there were about five here that I'm like, these are really the only ones I want. Um, and then I'm like, there's a bunch in other ones in there that, you know, are basic bread and butter that I have multiples of. He's like, well, just pull them out. And so I pulled those out too. And he just was like, $60. And I'm like, okay. And for my American friends, that is Canadian pricing, so probably closer to 45 at the moment with the exchange. And for my English friends, because I was born in England originally, it is about, I don't know, 25 quid, maybe something like that. So yeah, you get the idea. And again, he's not a guy, he has no interest in records. He's just looking to flip. He's already, you know, these are taking up space and he just wants to move them along, so he doesn't care. Those are the best kind of people to buy off. So here we go. Blues for Allah, the Grateful Dead. This is one of their best records. I'm not a huge Dead fan. I will fully admit that. Also, I'll try to show the labels, but I didn't go through these first and prep them to be able to do that. So unfortunately, on usually a lot of my other videos, I do take the time to show the labels, but I didn't prep it correctly this time. So some of them you'll see, some of them you won't. But I will show the backs of the records. So this is Canadian pressing, and a lot of these are probably going to be Canadian pressings because I'm in Canada. So there you go. This is the one, I don't know if I mentioned it in the preamble. This one on its own has a Discogs medium about 65. And it goes higher from there, obviously, and there's not too many lower than that. That seems to be about the going rate. This is an introduction to Syd Barrett. It was a 2012 Record Store Day release, and this is the Record Store Day release. They did, I think in 2018 or 19, re-release it. Because that's usually what they do with Record Store Day stuff. They get you all excited and say it's a limited edition, and then all of a sudden it just shows up on the catalog 5 years later and you can get it anytime you want. So that is it there. It is a 2-record set. It's a good, as the name states, introduction to Syd Barrett. There's, great stuff, early stuff they wrote with, he wrote with the Floyd, and then some of the things from the solo records. So it's a good collection. It is in great shape. This was one of the few that I actually did have the sleeve. All the sleeved ones were the ones that I was originally interested in buying. So, basically this thing, you'll probably end up paying for the whole lot. So, Pulp Fiction soundtrack, give you guys a quick rundown. Whenever you see the white barcode, you'll know it's a reissue. The 90s ones, for some reason or other, almost all, and I'm not, again, don't take my word for it, go check Discogs if you want, but from what I recall, are almost all yellow in color. So this isn't a 180-gram reissue, probably from the early 2000s. It's in, it's got a bit of wear at the corners and stuff like that, but nothing too terrible. The record's actually really great shape. There is the thing itself. It's 180 gram. Not that that really matters that much. That was, one of those early fallacies that 180-gram records sound better. They do not. It just means they're less likely to warp more than anything else. So Neil Young's Live Rust, the 2-record set, that was in there. Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, it's the textured sleeve, so it is an early, if not first pressing, but it's got all this, I don't know what that stuff is on there. Hopefully that'll just wipe off. But if not, I've got another one. The record on this is in really nice shape, but I've got another texture cover I can switch it out with, so that was worth picking up. Rocky Horror Picture Show, constantly in demand. It is like that Rumors record. It is what I call a bread and butter record. It is, when I get it in, it eventually sells, usually, within a couple of weeks of coming in, it goes out again. And these were interesting. These were, Wax Time put a lot of, in the 2000, I think 15, 18 type era, put out a lot of early jazz reissues. and they did do them on the 180 gram, and they were pretty good. You know, not. I don't know if these came from the original analog tapes or not. You don't really get a lot of information on that. Oh yeah, there's 2014, so this probably would have been 2015. This one is still sealed, so that's kind of cool. It's Coltrane's Golden Disc, which I think this was originally released in, like, I don't know, like 50, 59. They've got dates on there, so I'm going to say probably like 59 or 60. I can't remember, which is too bad. But yeah, basically, it's a compilation of sorts. Even back then, that's what it was. Here's another one, B.B. King. Same thing on Wax Time. And again, the 180 gram hype sticker on there. And there's the back of it. And this one, also sealed, never been laid. Now this one is same thing. It's this is Vinyl Lovers. That's 2015. And that one has been opened, but it has clearly not been played very often. And then, so basically those were the ones that I was like, those I'd be interested in. The rest I'm not sure about. And he's like, I'm like, you know, there's a few in there. He's like, just pull them out. He's like, we'll do a good deal. So roughly these were all less than $1 a piece. I think essentially when you take into account these. So now there's Nazareth's Greatest Hits. This is the one, if there's one Kansas album that everybody wants, this is the one. This is kind of good. This Boston Don't Look Back, because it's actually has the hype sticker on it, and I've got guys who collect hype. I collect hype stickers. I shouldn't, I collect them. So even if somebody has this, they'll probably end up wanting to pick that up just because of that hype sticker. So that's the thing. The Bee Gees' Mr. Natural. Billy Joel's 52nd Street. Again, these are not big dollar. Most of these are going to be in the $5 range in my store. Maybe a few a little bit higher, but definitely nothing too big in there. But these are bread and butter. People who are starting out their record collections, this is the stuff that they kind of want again. Not the serious collector who, this stuff back in the day was, dollar bin stuff. But the people who are sort of casual vinyl listeners for this, usually it's nostalgia based. This is the kind of stuff that they're looking to build their collection around again. So ABBA's Greatest Hits, Volume 2. This is a great record. Junior Walker and the All-Stars. This is on, it's Motown, their soul label. You can see it there, but I don't have the record itself. Look at that. $1.44 back in the day. The Commodore's Live. I think this is a 2-record set. And you see Lionel. Here's Lionel. He's playing sax. Look at him go. Johnny Cash's San Quentin, one of the Prison records. This was given to somebody in 72 for Christmas. So there you go. Supertramp's Crime of the Century. Again, another one of those like bread and butter records. This is one also. The Beatles Red and Blue. Constantly people, when I get them in, they eventually sell. The same thing with the Phil Collins, and I've never actually seen this hype sticker before. I'm not a big Phil Collins fan myself personally, but I'm sure somebody is. That's a cool little add-on there. So another Billy Joel, the Pointer Sisters. This was way before the Neutron Dance. Barry White's Can't Get Enough. Classic Ray Charles. You know what? I haven't been showing you guys the backs on this one. So there you go. This one is going into my collection because it's one of the few Barry Whites that I do not personally own, and I love Barry White. So this one is going to stay with me. I've actually never even seen this record in the wild before. I'm not saying it's rare or anything. It's just a personal experience of my 40-odd years collecting records. Maybe 35 to be fair. Probably 10 years old. I'm 50. What am I? Nearly 55. Yeah, I don't recall seeing this pair. So that one's staying with me. More Barry. You can see they tried to sell these at $5 at some point, obviously, or the person who bought them for $5 each back in the day. So there you go. Some more Barry. Barabbas, Heart of the City. Show you there. It's the American Atco. So the Dirty Dancing soundtrack, this one is another one. It's just a favorite of You know, I don't want to sound sexist, but like when ladies are buying their records, and they do, Dirty Dancing usually one of the ones that goes to them pretty quickly. So there you go. Great soundtrack. Like Be My Baby's on there. I mean, come on. And then there it is. Patrick, sweet Patrick Swayze. She's like the wind. Way to go. But yeah, you know, it is what it is, right? Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell, another one. Stone's Tattoo. It's just, again, another one of these bread and butter and Styx Equinox. So yeah, that's it. Again, nothing like, there's a couple there at the very beginning, which, you know, are gonna, one of them is gonna pay for the lot. When, you know, for those of you who follow the channel, I collect tons of different things, toys, non-sports cards, well, basically all cards, pre-war cards, comic books. I dabble in everything. I have a pretty big record collection, musical instruments, mid-century modern furniture, all that kind of stuff. But the one thing that I've always said is, if you can buy in bulk and get something that one or two of the things pay for all of the things, that is the way. That is the way, as they say in Star Wars law. This is the way. So there you go. Oh, my old man knees just cracked. That is it for today. There's 30 records I picked up from the storage unit. Well, from the guy who does the storage units. And yeah, I hope you guys are able to find some cool stuff when you're digging through the crates. Bye.